What's up, y'all? It's Brittany, and I'm coming back to you with another vlog. With it today is not going to be a vlog. Actually, I think I'm going to do a story time. I'm coming live from my work desk in my office, and I have a little downtime, so I decided, hey, let's talk. I want to talk about what it's like being a military wife. I always get this question, basically on how I like being a military wife and the lifestyle. But if I'm being honest, it's not. I mean, there's ups and downs, but it's not that bad. There were some adjustments. So just to give you guys some back history, my husband joined the military in, it was 2026. He joined the military September of 2022. So yeah, we got married in 2022. When he went in for basic training, that was probably the hardest time for me. Prior to that, my husband and I, we have been together a total of 11 years now, and we have been together going on our 4th year of marriage in July. But prior to that, I think my husband and I were together, about 7 years? Yeah, 7 years prior to him going to the military. So that was my first time, like not having access to him. I would say that, not having access to him. Because I'm not going to say it was the first time we were apart, because obviously I went to college, he moved away for a little bit, we came back together, but I always had access to him. During basic, I really didn't have that much access to him, and during that time, our son was, 3? Or I think he went when he was either 2 or 3. Can't remember. But it was very, very hard transition because we had built this life for ourselves, and then he decided, hey, I'm going to take us to the next level. Let me go to the military and establish a career for myself. And I think also what pushed him to go to the military, not only his sister, but because I was establishing a career for myself. I was actually in my Master's of Public Health program in college at the time. But when he got in for basic training, we were allowed to see him. I think I talked to him like every other Sunday, or maybe not every other Sunday, maybe like, I don't know, it probably was like every 3-4 weeks or something. I don't remember. It was so long ago, I don't remember. But I know we didn't talk on the phone a lot. I know he snuck and called me a lot, but I don't think that we talked on the phone a lot. I wrote him a letter every single day though. So I used Sandbox, and with Sandbox, everything was so easy because all I had to do was text it, and then I would send him pictures of like our son or like me and just like things that's going on. I would keep him updated on everything. So he got a letter every single for a day from me. So I remember he told me when he called me, he was like, yeah, I'm the only one getting mail. And mail called every week. He said every time they call for mail, they call his name. And I said, I'm going to keep it like that because I want to make sure that I keep his morale high. Because I know it's very, very challenging on your mental health when you're going through basic, because it's a culture shock. So basic was okay. We got through basic. What really was hard, the hardest part was when he got his first set of orders. He got his first set of orders, and they said we were going to Japan. And I was like, Japan? Like, we're moving out the country? And I was very nervous, but I was excited. So we started preparing for it. I had a lot of paperwork, a lot of things I had to go through to get myself and our child approved. Unfortunately, we could not go, myself and my son. I got approved to go, but my son did not get approved. And that is because during this time, my son had actually got educationally diagnosed with autism, and he had a speech delay. And because of the lack of resources that would be provided through the military, they denied us to go, denied him to go. So, of course, as a mother, I'm staying back with my son. Like, I'm not leaving him with anybody else to raise. So me and my son, we stayed in America, in Michigan, while my husband lived in Japan. That was an interesting time. So during that time that my husband was in Japan, I want to say he was in Japan 2 to 3 years without us. I did visit him, and he did come home quite a bit when he had the availability to or free time. So that was cool, but it was very tough because I felt like a single mom, and it was like, hey, I just got married in 2022. We have our baby. We've built our life. You go to the military. We think that we're all gonna like be in this situation together, and then we get separated. But I'm gonna say this, I do think it was a blessing in disguise because, like I said, my husband and I have been we've been together since we were teenagers. I was 17 and he was 19 when we got together. I've never not been without him. So I think during that time, that 2 to 3 year gap that we had where he was in Japan and I'm here in the States with our son, we got to grow into our own beings. I think it was good to have that like separation because then I figured out who I was as a woman without him. And I think he did the same without me as a man. And when we got back together, it was just like stronger. So I am grateful for that separation, even though it sucked. It sucked because it's like, hey, this is what I signed up for, not to be a single mom for 2 to 3 years. When you're doing everything by yourself, it's hard. And so I commend every single mother out there because it was very hard. Like, I was so used to having him split the time with, do everything, like, split the time on this, like, hey, you do this today and I'll do this tomorrow. Like, we work as a partnership, because we're a team. And to have it, everything solely responsible for our child fall on me was probably one of the hardest parts, but it was doable. I had a great support system. My mother was there, my grandmother, my friends, my sister, his mother, his sister, like, they all were great support systems for me. So I didn't have the worst time. But I will say this, there was challenges because, like I said, my son is autistic, and does have a speech delay, and there was like therapies we had to go to, and I had to navigate the therapy system alone. I had to navigate him being in, early on alone, or choosing the right daycares. I had to do all of that alone because a lot of times my husband was deployed, and when he was deployed, I couldn't contact him, and he didn't have Wi-Fi on his ship. So I can't remember what it's called. If carriers have Wi-Fi. I don't know. Well, whatever ship he was on. He didn't have Wi-Fi. We only talked when he would port on his deployment, and we didn't have that much time because we're on 2 totally different time zones. So that's a whole nother discussion as far as like how difficult it was, because we had to figure out how to keep like the spark alive, and it's very hard to do that when your significant other is in a whole nother country. But we fought for our marriage because, like I said, that was our honeymoon phase, and so like we like head over heels for each other, and he's in a whole nother country. So like when I did see him, when I went to Japan, oh my God, we had a ball. And then when he would come home, we would have even more fun. But it just was very, very hard doing everything alone, doing alone. And it was hard on him mentally too, not being there for us, because I know that, he didn't expect life to be that way. Like, I know for a fact he expected us to, stay together. I don't think any of us expected that. But I also am grateful for that time because I got to spend a lot of time with my grandfather before he passed too. It was a blessing in disguise, me not going all the way overseas and being home. But I would say, fast forwarding to now, things are so much better. Unfortunately, with the current administration, you just never know what's going to happen. But I serve a amazing Father. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. And he has protected us and kept us through this craziness that's going on currently. But we moved, so my husband ended up coming back at the beginning of January 2025. Literally, he flew in January 3rd. I'll never forget. January 3rd, 2025, flew in from Japan to Michigan. We drove to Virginia Beach from Michigan, and we have been here in Virginia since January 16th, 2025. And we have been together as a family. Don't really care for where we're staying right now, but the area is really great, and my son's school is really great, especially with him being special needs. They keep me posted and updated on everything that's going on, so I'm grateful for that. He has great therapies here. He was actually diagnosed medically here, which is a whole nother story that we'll get into at a later date. But on the military side of things, this new command has been very I would say they've been very flexible, especially with like the needs of my son and not having any family here. I haven't been able to create like a friend group or a community of my own as of yet. I hope maybe one day I will be able to. My one friend that I did have, she ended up, she was a military spouse too, and she ended up moving to Florida with her husband. So I haven't really had the pleasure of making any friends yet. I have people I work with, but I don't consider them friends. I keep work at work. As far as that, I don't have a community right now. I would love to create one so we can have a support group for one another. But my husband, he's doing really good. He has a set of friends at work. It's different when you're in the military and on, orders or whatnot. They seem to, connect through everything that they're going through on the base as well. So it's really good that for him, I'm happy he has his set of people. And so other than that, I like being a military wife. I don't have any complaints. The only complaint I would say is deployments and just not knowing. A lot of the times you just don't know what's going to happen. They can decide, oh, hey, we need you to go out here, or we need to ship you here for this many days, or we need to ship you here for this many months, or when it comes to him. So that scares me a lot. But like I said, I serve an amazing Father, and I know that we'll be fine. I have faith that nothing else is going to happen to my family. And that's going to break us apart, especially because we're almost up for sure duty. So because we're almost up for sure duty, I know we're going to make it past the finish line and we'll be stable for a couple of years. Now, there is going to be a day that comes, I'm not naive to it, there is going to be a day that comes where he is going to be needed and that he is going to have to go back out to sea. But I just don't foresee that happening in the near future. But it is very, very scary right now because with this administration, you just don't know what's next. In general with the military, you don't know what's next, but with what's going on in the world today now, you really don't know. Like, you can sit comfortably before this time, like you're sitting on the edge of your seat. But other than that, I don't have any complaints. I haven't gotten the experience of like consistently moving. So I know like when most people think of military families, they think they move all the time, and it's like, hey, I just came from Michigan to Virginia, so I haven't gotten that experience. I mean, my husband has moved twice, I guess you could say. Other than that, I haven't had that experience. Also, my father was in the military. My uncle retired from the military, so like I have military members in my family, so it doesn't faze me as much because I know what we signed up for. When it comes down to it now, will I like for us to move on these next set of orders? Hell yes. Yes, I'm trying to get out of here. I do not like Virginia. I just don't like it here. But you know, you don't have control over what you don't have control over, so I can't stress that. I will say that it is good here for my son. He's getting all the services he needs. But if we can move elsewhere, that would be great. Some other places we're looking at, well, my husband wants to go back home. Not home, not like Saginaw Flint, but like Rochester Hills, Ann Arbor area. But he wants to go back to Michigan, and I'm not opposed to going back to Michigan as long as I think I have a lot of transferable skills, and I'll be able to pick up a decent job or, you know, start a full career at a university out there. So I'm not opposed to Michigan going back home. I also let him know it's not going to be the same when we go back, because the Michigan we used to know is not going to be the same. A lot of people that we know that was there, they're either gone or they live in life a different type of way, and everybody just don't connect. Everybody don't grow together. So I'm not too pressed to go back home. Only reason I would go back is for like my mom, my grandmother, and my sister. Other than that, I'm not stressed about it. And my best friend. Another place on the list that we were thinking about was Texas, but I love Texas. You just feel good when you go to Texas. But I'm a little nervous about Texas because I don't know what the services for autistic kids are like out there. And being a mother, especially with another one coming, I have to make sure that wherever we go, we can provide our children with the best life possible. And it has to be very inclusive. And I don't know how Texas is on that. So that's the only thing that kind of like we talk about as of right now. Is like, what's the next step he decides to stay in? Where do we want to go next? And when would we put that, put in for that new orders for him? And because, you know, I'm just tagging along. And I'm comfortable with it because I have a lot of transferable skills. My degree is really good. So with my degree being what it's in, I can find a position anywhere and do well for myself. And I'm just more so worried about my son being able to get in the right area and be accepted. Yeah, because it's not the easiest moving around with children. Our baby that's baking right now, he will be very little. So we'll see. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else to add on being a military spouse. I'm enjoying myself. I just take it in. We have a lot of perks that comes with it. The insurance is okay. Like, I don't have any, like, I guess my big deal is, the deployments. Those are the hardest times for me. The deployments, or him being away, and the scares of like where he has to go. But other than that, I don't have any complaints. Well, with that being said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this story time. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. But thanks for listening, and make sure you not only watch, follow, like, and subscribe.